we started the first count here with some, not so great news. The son of Quentin Rampage Jackson was in the news this week. Raj Jackson. Everybody's seen the news. If you've seen the videos, you've seen the videos. But Jimmy, man, this is something that it doesn't paint the business too well.
Well, it is a tough situation, and as we're recording this, it seems like more and more video is coming out, giving us a little more information on what was going on, and apparently, someone talked this guy into appearing there and doing a little something, is my understanding from the videos that we've been watching. But what happened was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
To say the least.
From what apparently was discussed, he was supposed to go in there and leg dive the guy or something like that, but he picked him up and kind of slammed him. Psycho Stuart Smith, and the guy was pretty much out of it from the slam because he hit the back of his head on the canvas. It was pretty much out, and then he just mounts him and he throws 22 unprotected shots to the face.
Is that, hey, Jimmy, real quick, I want you to continue, but is that number right? Is that accurate? Is that something you got or counted yourself or what?
That's the number that's out there.
Okay.
It's been reported by several people, 22 unprotected shots. And after the first one, you would know that this guy is knocked out. So there was definite malice and intent with this guy. And there's several people that, I forget I forget the guy's name that came in and finally dragged him off. Do you have that? Does anybody have that guy's name?
I don't. I know who you're talking to.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
We'll get it.
Thank God
for
him. Thank God for him, because if it wasn't for him, he might not be alive today. It was that serious.
Well,
and you could point fingers at several different people that are involved. The problem I had with it is from a referee standpoint, and I think you guys will agree with me, is what is the first rule when it comes to a referee's job?
Protect your talent.
Safety for the talent.
Yes. Now, I could understand, look, I will understand, I could understand worrying about getting your own ass kicked, which could have definitely happened. It doesn't matter. You don't give a flying fuck. You get in there and cover the guy if you're not going to fight him. If you can't drag him off, cover the guy up so he doesn't get hit no more.
Yep.
What the hell was he doing? And then someone later on, after all the hoopla was done, somebody covered him and he counted to 3. What the hell was that?
That was the biggest disgrace of it all.
That made me absolutely sick. Anyway.
So real quick, I just want to say before I start, go ahead, Daniel, in just a second, but I just want to start with this. Everybody that works in that promotion that was out there are a bunch of fucking pussies. Yes, I said it. You're a bunch of pussies. How many fucking face shots do you want to see before you get in there? Yes, Jimmy, that guy did come in and basically save this guy's life, possibly. But he could have won it a lot sooner. He was standing in the corner along with that dipshit referee. Like, I don't get it. Like, there was this big ass dude. I am not tooting my horn because I know Jimmy's got stories. Daniel, I don't know if you do yet, but I'm just telling you right now. There was this dude that was 3 times the size of me that I had to kick the living dog shit out of so JBL wasn't an attack. That's what I had to do. Could he have beat my ass? Probably, but I ain't afraid. But what I'm saying is, in what promotion have you, if any of you worked in, where you know that the wrestlers would stand around and watch this shit for 22 punches before you do something?
None of them.
None of them.
One of the things, like, more, as Jimmy alluded to earlier, more and more things are coming out. We know that basically Psycho Stu started it with the beer can to the face and all this.
He did.
So, all this stuff. So Raja Jackson was like, is that his name, Raja?
Yeah,
Raj, yeah.
Was like, I'm gonna get my receipt. I'm gonna eat this guy because we got a plan. He don't know what's coming. After doing that to me or whatever. And you know what? Some of that I'm okay with, because if he did something to you, you get a receipt. There's nothing wrong with a receipt. But there's a way of giving a receipt, not a straight up blow to the head. You can give a receipt another way. Number one, but number two is the fact that yes, once even if this was a planned spot and the referee may have known about it or whatever, if I'm sitting and I've been in a situation where guys start shooting on each other, when that happens, you immediately get in there and break it up. It doesn't matter if I take a punch. Well, I took a punch. You know, I've said this on before. I have literally, our job is to protect the people. To protect the wrestler's safety. I've literally had the guys going to the ring. He's throwing chairs in the ring, and one is coming flying, going to hit the other guy in the head, and I'll just let it hit me instead. Like it's. And then I'll sell it and be like, what is, and then like, this guy's crazy, the maniac or whatever. But it's because it's all about the safety of the people. And I'm a little dumbfounded myself over how this can turn into what it is. What it's going to do, and I saw this report somewhere, and this is so true. Someone said this or made a comment about it, because some states right now, Kentucky's one of them, Maryland's one of them, Louisiana, Alabama, Missouri. I think even New York has a slight one. All these states have commissions. Oklahoma is one of them. They have commissions, and it's going to cause wrestling to become more and more regulated, which is not a bad thing. But the problem is that all the ones that do the thing the right way have to jump through so many freaking hoops to do stuff, and it's going to cause the indie scene, the good indie scene, to disappear. That's what happened in the state of Kentucky for years. That's what happened in the state, and all these until guys get in there, because and unfortunately sometimes those commissions turn into a money grab a lot of times. But it does get the outlaws out of there. That's the reason why Ian Rotten is no longer allowed in the state of Kentucky. It's the reason why people that do these crazy outlaw shows no longer allowed to do stuff. And it's going to cause, a show like that to never happen. And if that was to happen, they would be fined and sued and everything. Like, more stuff would be, that needs to happen. But it's wild to think that we might have to come to that point where everything is regulated. Every state has a regulation on wrestling.
Yeah.
So here's another thing real quick too, guys. They were saying that don't know the guy's name that was going in the hallway with them saying, this is where you get your receipt kind of thing. Da, 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 da.
That AJ guy, I don't know his name.
Yeah. But he's not talking to a worker. He doesn't know what that means.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not defending him at all, but he's an MMA fighter and he knows when someone gets knocked out. He knows that.
Yeah.
So then after that point, even if he slammed him to the ground and his adrenaline was so high, didn't realize he was out and hit him, he would know he was nothing. Right. And I'm hearing he knocked teeth out. There was structural damage to his jaw, possible concussion. I mean, I heard that he's, up and alive and awake, but still in critical condition. I mean, this guy, I don't care what anybody says, and someone please tell me why he should not go to jail.
Well, cops were called to the venue.
Well, now they have the Pronox Wrestling, I think is what it's called, is now defending
Knox
Pro.
Yeah.
They're not giving their story either.
Right. But here's the problem they're going to run into. That's and I hate to say this, but they're going to start saying, look, we have it on camera. It was an agreed upon situation. Got a little bit out of hand, whatever. That's going to be some kind of defense they're going to try and make out of this.
Yeah, of course.
The bottom line is he committed felonious assault. And he should be behind bars. That guy should be in jail.
He had intent to maim. He had intent to dismantle. Intent to. I mean, listen. I hate to say it, but I had to charge somebody with those charges because I got jumped. All right, those are real charges, and they are jail time. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
The Jimmy, everybody, the guy that pulled him off was Doug Drago.
Well, thank you, Doug.
Well, yeah, you just should have been a little sooner, but at least you did do something because no one else fucking did.
And then I'll move on after this. This promotion was part of the WWE ID program as well.
Not anymore.
That's why I said was. they pulled them up. Basically, WWE pulled it off of their website for ID. So, best of luck. Hopefully, you recover soon.
Just the awful situation.
By the way, there's a
Very awful.
GoFundMe out there. We'll shut that out. There's a
Yeah.
GoFundMe for his recovery and everything, and
already a lot of the boys have been contributing, so that's
yeah.
nice.
And he was already STD or what's it called? Not STD. I'm sorry, y'all.
PTSD.
He's a veteran.
PTSD.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a veteran.
and used wrestling as his escape.
Yeah,
kind of thing. And gosh, man, it's just so stupid. I tell you, and we're done after this. I promise you. Wrestling better be careful about bringing these fucking dumb fucks in our business. Okay, I'm just telling you, or they better do a extensive background on some of these fucking people. I mean, I'm just telling you, it's ridiculous. Or go over everything there could possibly be to where it's dumbed down. This guy should never be able to be an MMA fighter, be able to slide in, give a guy a bump, and do whatever they were doing. Jimmy, you said maybe take the legs out from him or something, leg dive him.
Allegedly, that's what was supposed to happen. He's supposed to hit the ring and like leg dive him.
Okay, well he doesn't. Well, he doesn't know what he's doing. So what if he took his kneecap out? What I'm saying is, you got to dumb this down. I think there's a place for these people that aren't in wrestling, but it's not in the fucking ring.
Well, I will say this, in all defense, and like TNA, when we bring in people, it's definitely not somebody that's trained or whatnot or all that stuff. Same with WWE. Even the Travis Scott situation we talked about on the show, he was training at that point. Yes, he laid it in because he was told to, but he was trained at that point and all that stuff. So at least the top two companies, AEW or WWE and TNA, they at least when they bring people in, they we're making sure they're trained and know what they're doing. So,
Ooh, Daniel, I noticed what you did there.
There you
go. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Indeed. Brian, last Saturday, we had the Forbidden Door there in the UK at the O2 Arena. Overall, we're not going to go match by match, but some overall thoughts on the pay-per-view.
I'm going to be really short, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah. The crowd looked amazing. They were into it. I thought it was shot very well, actually. I thought it was, they were hot all night long for 5.5 hours, which is a huge, huge mountain to climb. 5.5 hours and keep your people still into it. And that's great. I thought the Cope and Christian being together again didn't do much for me. It didn't feel special to me. At the end,
not the right place.
Exactly. But overall, I guess the pay-per-view was acceptable. There were some great matches on here. There was also a lot of things to be desired. But overall, I guess that if you're a wrestling fan, into the crowd kind of thing, I mean, I guess it was okay. There's just so many matches for me that have no story. And that's where I get lost, especially for 5.5 hours. But I think it was pretty decent.
Yeah, Jimmy, it was one of those things where we had a record break in for the O2 Arena for attendance. So it's always good to see people going to the venue.
No, absolutely. And you have to congratulate them for getting a nice crowd. Now they have to work on doing the same thing. And I know everybody's going to say, what about All In Texas? Different situation. Yes, for pay-per-views, they draw well, but they can't draw weekly for television. And that's going to be an issue, and they need to address that issue soon. But let's give them props for the nice house that they had at the O2. The number there.
18,992.
Good. Cool. Good for
which
them.
outdrew, which is previously the previous record was held by WWE Money in the Bank 2023, which drew 17,617.
Didn't actually know that. So that's good. Good for them.
I'm gonna say
what's going to happen next time.
Ahead.
Sorry, you know what's going to happen next time WWE goes to the O2 for any big deal.
It'll be sold out.
It'll not only will it be sold out. Nope, they're going to pare down that entryway so that you can have seats behind it.
The flat surface.
Yeah.
That small entryway.
Like that LED board.
So So they'll have the whole bowl.
Yeah, they'll do that for sure. So I will say this, and it's cool that both AEW and WWE are currently in the UK right now. And I'll just address this. I don't know why it became news, but it was. But hey, yes, Pac and Sami Zayn are friends, and they just so happen to be the UK together. So what do? They go to a soccer game together because that's what you do with friends. You go to
Yeah.
events together, and you're both in the same place. So why not take advantage of it? So shocking, friends are at different companies. There's quite a bit of friends and lovers and whatnot at different companies. So, um,
Uh-huh.
it's not breaking news, but hey, if it gets you clicks on your dirt sheets, go right ahead.
Who was it? Punk and who?
Oh, Sami Zayn and Pac.
Sami Zayn and
Pac.
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 The
Yeah.
Bastard
Oh,
Pac.
I was gonna say they work in the same
Pac.
company. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Uh,
God forbid
Why
you
not?
have friends.
Who
others
gives a
elsewhere.
shit?
Yeah.
I know. I mean,
So
like,
wait a minute,
Some,
Daniel, you're saying
something to talk about.
they're making
Yeah.
something up about this?
Yeah,
No,
it
no.
was a bunch. There was a big post about it, just saying like,
Hmm.
"Oh my gosh, they're together." It's like, yeah, they're friends. Like, who cares? Like, they're
Hmm.
both in the UK
I
at
will
this
say,
time.
I just to get back to the card though, there was some good stuff and there was some stuff that made no sense whatsoever.
None.
Welcome back, Wardlow. Welcome back into oblivion.
Yep.
Again, another faction for this guy.
Fourth one. Fourth.
Fourth. I lost count. I'm sorry, but Wardlow is just going to get Wardlowed again.
Yep.
Yeah. I had to look it up personally, to be honest with you.
I look at it this way. You look at the Don Callis family. Who is and they're all heels, right? They're supposed to be heels, all of them.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Who gets the most heat in the Don Callis family?
Don Callis.
Don.
Yes. So the leader of the Don Callis family, who you can't get any heat on because he really doesn't bump anymore. Anyways, made no
Yeah.
sense to me. That made no sense to me. Along with
He did take a
few other
screwdriver
things.
to the head at one time.
Oh yeah, well,
Okay.
Not,
don't know.
nothing major. But as well on Saturday, Daniel, there was a show for NXT Heatwave.
That was actually on Sunday, but yeah.
Sunday, pardon me. Saturday, Sunday, yeah. I'm so used to them running the same time. But a good pay-per-view. We saw some TNA talent there and had hell of a matches with the NXT folks there.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome to see that much NXT talent, or TNA talent be featured. I mean, and literally, you had in one match, you had personal concierge. We call him, Iceman, and his elegance brand, Ash by Elegance, M by Elegance, Heather by Elegance, and Masha Slamovich was also in this match. So five, five.
Five-time.
TNA talent being featured. Five of them, five TNA talents stars being featured in a very big deal match for the TNA Knockouts World Title on a WWE pay-per-view. And yes, the title changed hands. I thought the finish was great. I thought all of them looked like stars. All of them did amazing. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the layout. I enjoyed the finish. And I'm so congratulations to Ash by Elegance. She deserves her flowers, and she's getting them. She's an amazing person, amazing talent, and pretty cool. So
Without question. Overall, good pay-per-view. Look,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
yeah, no. Overall, it was a good pay per view. I mean, a couple of people stood out. Obafemi is he's a beast. You gotta love him. Javon Evans, 21 years old. This
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Wait till it actually clicks for him.
And this Chelsea and Ethan thing is money,
Oh,
and it little homage to the one and only Lance Storm, if you think about it. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think he even commented on the two online.
When I wanted to watch that match, I was digging in the archives downstairs. I wanted to find my Un-American shirt and wear that. I couldn't find it. Damn, it's hidden down there somewhere.
well,
Jimmy's leading the heel life there.
Maybe I'll wear it when I head down to Parsippany, New Jersey in September. So we'll see.
with the people.
A place that, you should wear it is in our next segment or I should say in our ref review right here on Roughing It Up.
This is Refin Review.
Welcome back to Roughing It Up right here in our Refin Review. Daniel, man, in the tag team championship match, Paul Turner was a referee for that. A few things occurred during that match. Just wanted to get your thoughts on the specifics on what you saw to break it down for the listeners.
Well, I wanted to basically shout out to Paul Turner, because what Paul Turner did was, actually the what you're supposed to do. So he goes down the basically it was the finish of the match. He goes down to count the finish, and he notices as he's counting 1, 2, the shoulder comes up, and he immediately stops his count. Then they fix the shoulder back, and he has to go back and count 1, 2, 3. Now it messed up the finish, but that's not on Paul Turner. That's on the talent, and it made it look wonky and funky. But hey, Paul did the right job, and yeah, you said, oh, how do you know there's not a camera angle? Watch it, and because you can tell his mannerisms of when he's doing it, how he's pointing at the shoulder. It went up, and that's kudos to Paul Turner for doing exactly what you're supposed to do as a referee. It wasn't a blown spot on him. It was a blown spot on the talent.
Mm-hmm.
So, Daniel, would you say it was more like one of the boys trying to make it tight? And,
Probably.
And came up a bit early, and Paul had to acknowledge that.
Yep, I would think so.
Otherwise, go ahead.
Either that, or he was already, like, I've seen this actually happen to me in the in a house show I just did with OVW. Is that the guy was like laying there, and as he just kind of like he was in position, but he didn't realize he rode a little bit as I'm going down to start the count. But at that point, when I go to start it, his shoulder was already up, and I was like, I can't count the shoulder. And it was one of those supposed to be a last second where the guy falls on him accidentally. He lays on him while he's counting 3 and a fatal 4. Everybody's noticing, oh shit, and they jump to try to stop it, and then it's too late. But it almost ruined that finish because his shoulder was rolling, and I was like, I can't count, right now. So I think it could be one of those. It could be a little bit of both, where they're trying to keep it tight, or the person just kind of was rolling over and didn't realize his shoulder was coming up, which has happened many times with talent. They kind of get lazy and don't think, and they're just laying there taking it all in, not realizing their shoulder's not up, or shoulder's not down. Sorry.
The other thing that happens too, and you guys know this, is the talent lose count of the referee's count. That's why you should count out loud. Sometimes you go down, and when you go down, they think that's 1 when you haven't hit for 1 yet. So when you hit 1, 2, before you even hit 2, they're kicking out, they're doing something, or their idea is to kick out right after 3. So after you hit 2, they're kicking out thinking that it was 3.
Yeah. It depends on it definitely depends on the ref and their and how their cadence is and how hard they hit the mat and stuff like that. Yes. But absolutely. And so like I said, kudos to Paul Turner. Like I know this was this looked wonky and funky, and you know what? It makes it real, and it was at that moment. So he did the right thing.
But the problem also is with commentary. Commentary needs to help cover that up.
Yes,
and I didn't think they did enough of a job to cover that up at all. And you have several cameras ringside. You have the handhelds.
Even back when NXT had that moment with what's his name, Jasper Troy, where Anobi, I think it was Obafemi, right?
Obafemi, yeah. Because I think it was a title match.
Yeah, and it was basically they changed finish or whatever happened at the moment, and he didn't, his shoulder really didn't come up. But immediately Vic Joseph was like, "Look, the referee's right there. He saw the shoulder was up, and he can see it better than we can, and covered it up immediately." That's all you got to do is just say something like that. You can see it better than than we can. He has to see something that we can't see. That's immediately what you have to say, and then instead of now. You just got to, and then later you can come back on a replay or something and change it if direction from the back or the office tells you change what you said. It's that simple.
Exactly.
And I'm glad you brought up seeing things you don't see in the title match between MJF and Hangman Page there, Jimmy. He's been off the referee review for a little bit of time, so he's been doing a decent job. But our favorite referee's back on it this week, Jimmy. Please break it down for us.
With which one? Which one do you want me to begin?
We'll
there
start
were
with
two instances in this match. Okay,
Let's
let me
start with
start with this
the
one.
foot on the rope.
You want to talk about the foot under the rope? On the rope? Okay, it was on the rope.
On the
Okay,
rope.
first of all, here we go. Referee gets dinged. No, wait a minute. Yes, he gets dinged.
Mm-hmm.
He comes over. There's a cover. MJF covers Hangman. The way he comes in, he's kind of looking right at it.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of turns himself away as he's counting 3 and, starts heading the other direction. I guess he was selling. I guess that's what it was. Anyways, then
Maybe.
he comes back, and after MJF is celebrating a little bit, it looked like, and then he went to, he looked and he saw the foot on the rope, and he said, oh, he hasn't seen it yet. Let me go get it. And that's when he runs right over, like he isn't selling anymore. He stops selling, and he starts arguing with MJF about the foot on the rope, catching him when MJF was trying to take the foot off the rope.
Right.
It just looked horrible. The entire thing looked horrible. But that wasn't even the worst of it. For me, there was even more in this match. What was the biggest stipulation in the match that MJF had Hangman agree to?
No
the title
DQ?
can change hands on disqualification,
yeah.
count out, and he doesn't have to give up his, whatever they call their version of Money in the Bank. Whatever that is. I can't even remember the name of it. So, here's the discussion, and it was talked about on Busted Open this week, and I completely get where Bishop was coming from and their point of view, but they got this one wrong, in my opinion. MJF, during the match, pulls a table out from under the ring, sets it up. They move away from the table. So the table's set up, but they haven't gone to the table spot yet. Later on in the match, Hangman puts MJF through the table.
How does he put him through the table? Does he actually throw him in the table, or is he?
He physically put him through the table.
Got it. Okay.
He gave him a
counter
reverse. It was like he tombstone pile drive him through the table.
Off the apron.
Off the apron.
Okay.
Reverse tombstone, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So, in my eyes, that's a disqualification. Now, the argument was, well, MJF was the one who introduced the table. He's not but he ended up being the one to get put through the table. So therefore, it shouldn't be a disqualification. So my answer is this. So if MJF went under the ring and pulled out a chair, gets in the ring and attempts to use it on Hangman, Hangman stops him, picks up the chair and waffles MJF with it. Is that not a DQ?
It's a DQ 100%.
So what's the difference?
So this actually happened to me. The same exact moment.
I remember this.
Josh Alexander versus Will Ospreay 2, their second match they had at TNA Hard to Kill, the very first TNA rebranded pay-per-view Hard to Kill. No, I'm sorry. It was Hard to Kill, but it was Rebellion, or it was a TV taping after that in Vegas. Sorry, but it was still the TNA it was at Vegas Loop. So Will Ospreay came back in, but this is before he already announced he signed with the AEW, but he had that little window where he was still under New Japan contract and whatever. So they had their second match where then basically we're doing the match, blah blah blah. This is infamous because they went 4 minutes early, so Scott D'Amore had to come out and cut that promo, which is basically like his rah promo. He knew he was being fired promo, so talked about that. But anyways, so they're doing the match, and this spot was put in there. And I remember going over with Lance Storm, who was the agent, Scott D'Amore, and the talent, and we were arguing. Me and Lance were like trying to do this. Scott said, "We're going to allow it. I don't care. I'm going to allow it." Knowing now what I know, obviously he didn't. He was letting anything slide at that moment because we knew. But we were like, "Why is he allowing this? This is not like him normally to allow this." So me and Lance had to come up with a plan to make it make sense. So and it was a pile driver through the table after someone introduced it and whatever. So how we made it make sense was that this match was after I checked on the guys, and this match was such high level, high whatever, that I checked with both talents, and I was like, I'm gonna DQ. No, I have to DQ. No, and I said, I looked at them. They're both okay. They both can continue. And I told the doctor said he can continue because the doctor checked. And then I looked at the ring belt, the person at the bell table, who's the timekeeper. I yelled real loud in the camera mic and said, "It's this match will continue. I'm not DQing it. It's going to continue. This match will continue, or whatever." And there was some boos from the fans because they were mad about it. However, they covered it on commentary, be like, he's our senior official, and he says this. Management's wanting him to continue until we have a decisive winner. So from here on out, this match continues, and they put it over, and it worked. But there had to be I had to do a spot. I had to go to each talent, had to check on them. I had to see if they're okay, if they want to continue. I'm going to It was a process of it had to make sense why I'm not DQing it. But that was the only. Other than that, they literally want me to do the exact same thing. Where I just like, I ain't going to DQ. And I was like, I can't just watch it and not acknowledge it. So
I got to say this too. For that spot there, that's not on Bryce though.
No,
he's just following orders. That's 100%. On the talent who just have free reign to do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah,
and there's no repercussions to doing.
That's what I said. It wasn't on me, but I had to make it. But I just took it. I wanted to protect my
as best
integrity.
You can. Right.
Best I can, and Lance is was big on that, and then we obviously got it approved, and Scott was like, "That sounds good, I like that," and we took it to commentary, told the talent what we're doing because they wanted that spot. So I was like, "Well, in order to get that spot, it's got to make sense for all of us." So they all agreed, everything was cool, and I actually was okay with doing the spot once we had a plan in motion, but it literally took us to do that before because at that point I was like, I'm just gonna get buried here. This is dumb,
But guys, what is on Bryce though? I don't know if y'all mentioned this or not. I had to leave for a quick second. Is the positioning of himself for that foot spot on the rope?
Yes,
he came in barely selling, had a big high over the top one facing the heads. 2. And then he completely gets up, basically. He gets on a swivel and swivels away for his head to be the other direction and counts to 3. It's like, okay, I know the foot's going to be there, so let me just move my whole body around when I first started counting with my head towards the leg.
Not to cut you off, but I thought even on 2, he was looking right at it.
He was looking at it at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that something? I'm going to move on after this, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Is that something like he was up towards the head? Is that something where you go on the other side of the shoulders, where you still can see both shoulders?
Position your feet.
He needs to be away from the
your feet towards the ropes.
Yes.
Right. And even if you have to stick your feet under the rope so you can get to the shoulders and not be able to see the rope behind you, then that's what you do.
Right. That's correct.
Understand.
But I think the other issue that I had in that spot, and it's just the selling of how 0 to hero on the count. His count should have been, and I'm calling it this because that's who made it. That's who did it the best. And the Earl Hebner. I'm throwing my baby Earl here.
We can't go one episode without this.
Well, he did use it as a reference, Brian. I will give him that.
The Earl, and every time, and I actually just recently had this emergence, the count, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'll Earl Hebner it," and they're like, "Yeah, everybody knew what I was talking about. They knew what I was talking about." And you Earl Hebner the count, and that's what you do in that moment. You don't slowly go over, but then hop and count fast like you're normally. Like, it makes no sense. Like you shouldn't count like that after the bump. So that's the. I mean, I had a problem with the positioning, but that's definitely the issue. I was like, I saw that and. Speaking of selling, where I'm sure we're going to talk about somebody else in a minute too. So
So Brian, I wanted to get your thoughts on this because this is something that we've seen in the past with WWE. More specifically, is in the title match, the main event of Heatwave between Obafemi and his name escapes me at the moment.
Javon Evans.
Javon Evans. There you go. Adrian Butler. I'll set this up for you and get your thoughts on this. Adrian Butler takes a bump, falls out of the ring. New referee comes in as Evans covers Obafemi. Derek Sanders comes in, counts the 3, but he does not see Obafemi's leg underneath the bottom rope. Adrian Butler sees that, waves it off.
Agent Butler is getting up from on the floor,
Off the floor,
and
correct.
he's positioned where he's staring right at the foot under
Correct.
the rope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Correct.
I actually like it. I have no problem with it because it's actually pretty ingenious. So
no, it's
basically,
great. It's great. Yeah,
the guy takes the bump. He gets up at the right moment, actually sees what's happening. He's playing groggy, sees the foot's under the rope, waves the referee off and says, no, that his foot was under the rope. And he actually finishes the match as well. I had no problem with this.
we did this at TNA when we was Impact with me and Brandon Toll. It was a spot where for the
Who did you say?
Brandon Toll.
Who?
Anyways, we did this spot. The late great Brandon Toll. No, he's not dead. But he's no longer at he's no longer at Impact. No,
Thank you,
we did this.
Daniel Heyman.
We did this spot where I take a bump, I roll out of the ring, blah blah blah. He comes in to do the finish of the match. They go to win the match. I think it was Speedball was the champion, and it was the Kingdom people or whatever, like Matt Taven or whatever, had his hands on the ropes or something. I think that's who it was. But anyways, and then or Mike Bennett maybe, and Maria and them like are holding the hands on the ropes, and I wake up just as I get up and I look just at the time I'm seeing this happen. He's missing it. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me.
Lord
1, 2,
almighty.
3. Yeah. Edit that out. Edit that out. Hold on. We'll edit this out. All right. 1, 2, 3. I see it. They're celebrating. I go in the ring. I'm telling you what happened, blah, blah, blah. And then we restart the match, and I continue the match as a ref. So a little different, but it's a similar concept. And I liked it too. The only thing I had an issue with was Adrian Butler, if that is your real name, took this bump, and it was a decent bump. He normally takes way better bumps than this, but he didn't get hit as hard, but it made sense for him to fly out of the ring. Don't get me wrong. He gets out of the ring. He gets up to do the spot. He's no selling, and then he's selling, and then he's no selling again, and then he's selling, and then he does the finish. He's no selling. Then he's selling. I'm like, just keep selling, dude. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, that was the only thing I had. As far as Derek Sanders, if that is your real name, he slid in, and I've heard a rumor say, "Oh man, he was in our fast." I have no problem with him coming in at that moment. And maybe who knows? Maybe the spot was supposed to be longer before he comes in, but yet they had to rush to it because of time. So you never know that part of it, and that's okay. He's in there in the right timing for the spot to count. The other thing that I say that he did that again, this is nitpicking because I love the spot, is that he immediately responded to seeing it. He didn't register like he should have took more time. Registered like, oh, I do see the foot. And then grabbed his hands, put his hands on his head, and oh my God, you're right. I missed it. He immediately was like, oh, you're right away without letting that register, letting that dissect in. That was the only those little. But I'm telling you what, if that was the only thing that I'm nitpicking on both of them, they're fine. And that's
I think it was fun. Everything was fun.
Yeah, but like you said, it could have been something that it could have been a time issue.
I think it's a time issue. 100%.
That's why they rushed through that spot too. Yeah. The interaction between the two of them.
And I've been there before, and you have to. You have to. There's nothing you can, unfortunately. And but I thought they played it very overall. Though I know what I'm nitpicking, but overall I enjoyed it. I thought they did it very well, and I kind of mad that I can't steal that for a while now. So.
It's actually a great spot.
It's a great spot.
Yeah, no doubt.